what one is up next, Jonathan?
Hi, John and crew. This is Daniel from Arkansas. Last year, you did a video on the 2021 comic book movies of the year. I was wondering, what is your 2022 comic book movies of the year? Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And you know what? It is Tuesday, so it's time for a Top 5 Tuesday anyway. And so you call in at a really opportune time. You know, we were talking the other day on the show, Chris, about 2022, not the finest year of comic book films.
No.
Certainly had some good stuff out there, but I mean, you look back at like 2018,
Right.
2016, you look at certain years where it's just like, we were so, what is it you call it, Rob? An embarrassment of riches.
Embarrassment of riches.
For a lot of years. This, not one of the stronger years. So it makes it a little more tricky to put together a top 5 best comic book movies of the year, but that's what we're going to endeavor to do right now. Now, I should let you guys know that I decided that we would not let the special presentations qualify. Now, we're talking about the 2 special presentations, Werewolf by Night, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Holiday Special. These were both under an hour long. They're not really feature films. Now, if they were on this list, I'll tell you right now, I put up a tweet about this. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special would be my number 2 of the year, and Werewolf by Night would be my number 3. But we are not putting those on the list. So let's go back over to the classroom here, shall we? And we'll go down. We'll start with mine. All right, coming in at number 5, I'm going to say Black Adam. This is a movie we've talked about a lot that I clearly had problems with. I had some issues with, some terrible dialogue, some useless characters, some unbelievable logic leaps. But you know what? There was a lot of grinning, a lot of laughing, some fun. I still had a good time with it. So I'm going to say Black Adam comes in at my number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4, God, I can't believe I'm going to do this. Super Pets. Super Pets, with which, you know, Ray and Ann pretty much dragged me to go see. They kind of made me go see it. Look at that smug look on Ray's face. Ray's saying, no, man, it's going to be good. And I got to tell you, I have to admit, I was poo-pooing on this movie, but I came out of it going, and Ray's like, come on, John, come on, come on. I'm like, all right, it was good. It's a good movie.
And it was so short.
And it was
Pretty
pretty
a
short.
bad movie, at least be short. I mean,
That's Ray's number 1 criteria for a movie, is a short. But I had to come out and go, okay, you know what? Yes, I thought it was pretty good. Not great, not my favorite animated film of the year or anything, but I like Super Pets. So I get it. It gives it the number 4 spot. All right. Coming in at number 3 for me, Doctor Strange 2. This is a movie that I think most people agree did not live up to its potential. Especially coming off the brilliance that was Doctor Strange 1, but it was still packed with some really cool things that I enjoyed. I liked a number of the new characters. I still think right now that, take away even all the weaknesses of Multiverse of Madness, and there are plenty, I still think the basic storyline of Wanda Maximoff, from her first appearance in the MCU through WandaVision into Doctor Strange 2, is one of the best individual storylines the MCU's ever done. And so even though I had problems with it, Doctor Strange 2 gets the number 3 spot on my list. All right. Now we get into the top 2, and I'm going to say at number 2, Wakanda Forever. Again, this is a movie that to me did not live up to its potential. But I still thought this was a good, solid film. Some really good heart and emotion. They do some head scratcher things in it that I didn't think make it a lot of narrative sense. But overall, especially when you're talking about Angela Bassett, who is going to get an Academy Award nomination for this movie. Absolutely, I think she will, and it's well deserved. But overall, it's a solid film. Doesn't live up to the first one, but I still thought pretty damn solid. So it is my number 2. No surprises here. The Batman is the best comic book movie of the year. And for me, spoiler alert, when we do our top 10 next week of the year, the Batman's going to be on my top 10 of the year list. I went back and watched this again about a month and a half ago, and I was still floored by the narrative pacing. It is over long. It could have been about 10, 11, 12 minutes shorter, I think. But still, the flow of the narrative was solid. The way they built this new world, Gotham, you've heard other people say about this, about other Batman iterations, but Gotham felt like a living, breathing character in this movie. And I love that. And Paul Dano, between this and his performance in Fabelmans, oh my God. If you're somebody who comes out and says, this is the year of Paul Dano, I don't know that I have an argument to fight against you about that, because this is Paul Dano putting himself on the map this year. The character of the Penguin is making me die to see Colin Farrell's Penguin series, especially with his performance in Banshees of Inisherin. Spoiler alert, also going to be in my top 10 of the year. But The Batman, again, one of the best movies of the year, period, to me, and the one truly, I think, remarkable comic book film of the year. So that is my list. Again, for me, it's number 5, Black Adam, number 4, Super Pets, number 3, Doctor Strange 2, number 2, Wakanda Forever, and number 1, The Batman. So that's my list. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you get another 3 months for free. Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with eSIM, while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I've been using Mint Mobile long before this holiday deal, and I have to say it is the perfect time to switch. I have absolutely loved using Mint Mobile, and like I've told you guys many times, I am now spending less than 1/3 of what I used to spend under one of the other major mobile carriers. And now with the whole buy 3 months, get 3 months free deal, it's even better. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM. Or if you need a new device, for a limited time, get 6 months of free service when you buy a select device and plan. So guys, for a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months for free by going to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Rob, let's go over to you.
My list is exactly the same as yours, but I would flip Black Adam and Super Pets.
That minor of a change.
Yeah, because and for the reasons that you said, I thought that the Batman is, for me, by far the best comic book movie of the year. And I've watched it since I've had the 4K disc. I watched it over this past weekend. It's a phenomenally well-made movie. It's so cinematic. It's so beautifully done. It shoots a lot higher. I mean, my only thing I really liked Wakanda Forever. I thought Wakanda Forever was really ambitious. You know what really bothers me now, when you are comparing and contrasting the Batman and Marvel movies? The fact that so many of the Marvel movies now are shot against green screens. Not the volume, but we're watching backgrounds and things that are all computer generated. It's got this color palette that's beginning to get on my nerves. and you see it a lot in Thor: Love and Thunder. It was like, enough. And you see it in Quantumania. And it used to work, but it's not evolving. When you watch the Batman, it's like, okay, we're on a real street and it's really raining.
Well,
and when we go into
in their defense, the Batman takes place in Gotham City.
No,
whereas,
I know.
a Thor: Love and Thunder takes place in the city of the gods.
Even Wakanda, when you're watching Wakanda Forever, when they went down to Puerto Rico, and like you see, it's like, wow, how refreshing. We're actually in an outdoor, real environment. Like at the end, when Shuri is talking to Lupita Nyong'o and meets. Wait. They're having a conversation. It's almost done. Anyway, but they're outside. And they're outside, and I think it really helps from a cinematography standpoint, from a believability standpoint. The more you're outside, I think that Marvel really needs to sort of get back and figure out how to use practical locations for their movies.
Well, but some stories lend themselves to that.
Some don't. I'm not saying that when they
where do you go? You can't go to Puerto Rico to shoot the quantum realm.
No, well, they're starting to do that with look at Andor. And they just made the announcement that Acolyte is going to be doing real
a lot of that too.
Also,
yeah, which is exciting to see.
And I think that Thor did use a lot of the volume, by the way.
Way too much of the volume.
Yeah, sure.
And the thing is, but I do think that I like that, and
well, let's stick on the topic of the top 5 movies of the year.
So the Batman by far, Wakanda Forever. I thought Wakanda Forever was hugely ambitious for the most part, and I really liked Wakanda Forever a lot more, I think, than most people did.
So just a little swapperoo of Super Pets and Black Adam.
Yeah, and what you said about Doctor Strange, again, a movie that I have reassessed since I've owned it and watched it. What you said about how it's an extension of what we saw in WandaVision, I think it actually. I watched WandaVision again. And then watched Doctor Strange, and I think it works better. The thing about Doctor Strange is we were all waiting to see the Illuminati and all these cameos, But if once you move away from the cameos and watch the story at hand, I think it works better, and it works really well in tandem watching WandaVision. And Black Adam, look, Super Pets was not my jam, but ultimately I did find it pretty entertaining. But like you said, Black Adam was so hit and miss, like the stuff with the kid, but I loved seeing the Justice Society. I loved it.
Noah
And for me,
Centineo, the whole Justice Hawkman,
yes,
Dr. Fate, that all worked really
And
well.
Noah Centineo, by the way, is great in The Recruit.
I still haven't watched that yet. I want to watch it. It looks really good.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But Dr. Fate alone and Hawkman, if that's all we got, a half an hour of them, I would have put it at my number 4 position.
All right, Kristian, let's go over to you. So again, we got our list is here, and Rob's and mine are pretty identical, so I'm not going to move anything around. But he's got Super Pets at 5 and Black Adam at 4. What does your list look like?
I have a controversial list, John. So, and again, just reminding that again, it comes to enjoyment, because I know that certain films are definitely more well made than others. For example, my number 5 is Doctor Strange 2. And I know that it's probably going to be better made, and it is better made than some of the other films on my list. But enjoyment-wise, now I have to say what Rob said. I'm doing a rewatch with my daughter right now. We're on
Of WandaVision?
of the MCU.
Oh, the MCU.
So
nice.
right now, well, she's watching it the first time, and right now we're on Ant-Man 2. So we're approaching, phase 4, and I'll be looking forward to seeing Doctor Strange to see if I can pick up what Rob just said. But still, it was more of a Sam Raimi movie for me. I've always been I appreciate him, but I'm just not a Sam Raimi head the way a lot of other people are. So that was number 5 for me. Number 4 is actually Black Adam for me, because Black Adam I thought was a lot of fun. I agree with every single person that said that it's generic, that it's you've seen it a million times over, but for all the reasons that Rob just mentioned and you mentioned, I got a kick out of it. I liked seeing those characters. I thought Dr. Fate was awesome, and I'm looking forward to watching it again. Right now, call me a sap and call me a dad, but number 3 is Super Pets for me, because the first time I enjoyed it, the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it, and I was just kind of like you, John, going, I don't know what this movie is going to be about at all. And I watched it, and I was like, that was really cute. And then I watched it with my 5-year-old, and she loved it and was laughing. So
I watched it with my 5-year-old too, Ray.
Ray, yeah, exactly. So that's who I was talking about as well. But either way, it was just it was a nice feel to watch it with my daughter. And so number 2, just like everybody else here, it's Wakanda Forever, where I think we've all talked about it at length, what Ryan Coogler was able to accomplish in the switch so fast and make such a really good movie. I liked it, didn't love it, but I appreciate what they had to do and what they had to endure and the emotion that was behind it. And number 1, I know, call me nuts, Morbius. No, I'm just kidding. No, wow. Totally kidding.
That would be awesome if you really
Morbius.
That would be the hot take of the day.
Be the hot take. No, the Batman. I mean, there's no arguing against it. That movie it's fantastic. It is a couple minutes too long. That's fine. Overall, I can't wait for it again. I love the David Fincher vibe. Paul Dano is out of control good. So is Colin Farrell, unrecognizable. Robert Pattinson, Andy Serkis. It's just, it's a gem.
The cast crushes in that movie.
Oh yeah, they absolutely do. So again, I mean, all 3 of our lists have the exact same 5 movies. The 2 big, obviously the big losers, the 2 big major motion picture comic book movies that didn't make either of our list was Thor: Love and Thunder or Morbius.
And Morbius to me is an easier pill to swallow on a rewatch. It's only an hour and 25 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes, and it just
That is short, isn't it?
At least it's a movie that is a movie and not a comedy.
You know what? In defense of Morbius, I try to find the silver lining here. They did a couple of interesting things, some visual stylistic things, like his quote unquote super speed, the way they visually kind of manifested his speed. They did some interesting things, but it's almost like it's almost like a VFX artist came and said, like, what if we did this with the character like Morbius? Cool, let's make a movie around that. And it ended up being what it is. Anyway, I guess, once again, if we were including the special presentation stuff on Disney Plus, I would have had Werewolf by Night and the holiday special in there. But there you go, our 5 movies. They're all basic. 1 and 2 is all the same, and then just a slight reorganizing of the 3, 4, and 5, but they're the same films. Doctor Strange 2, Black Adam, and Super Pets all there. Guys, the question is for you. How would you rank the 2022 comic book movies that are out there? Whatever you guys think, go on ahead and jump down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts.